Hello everybody, welcome along to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster. I'm very pleased to be here with you. I'm looking forward to the Irish Derby weekend action over at the Curragh and of course some very good racing in Britain as well, including at Newmarket and at Newcastle. And I've got a couple of selections for you, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, offered free here on this Sportsbet service. If you're joining me for the first time, please press the subscribe button just below this screen. Well, just before I go to those tips, can't let it go by without mentioning Royal Ascot, which this year wasn't a great success for us, I have to say. Of course, this year we didn't have as many arrows to fire because the majority of my selections are available at Out in Front, where we actually had quite a successful time showing a very healthy profit, including a 25 to 1 winner. But from a far more limited number of shots at the target, we missed on most occasions in what was a very, very difficult meeting. The book is reporting the median average odds, winning odds were bigger than they've been virtually at any time for a very, very long time. So if you did finish ahead, well done indeed to you. The only one that managed to scrape into the each way money for us was House Secret at 25 to 1 on the final day. But overall, it was a losing Royal Ascot, and it was a losing month for us in June, having had profits in the previous two. And it actually brought us to an end of our third year in total since we started on July the 1st, I think it was, of 2020. So our 2022-23 year, despite a few ups and downs, and having shown big profits in the previous 2 years, we have managed to stay ahead. And we've ended up with an exactly £100 profit to the level recommended £10 each way stakes on selection. So we've managed to stay ahead in what was a very difficult year, of course, from a much smaller sample of selections. I hope that the forthcoming 12 months are going to do us even better than that, a lot better than that. Well, remember that if you want all my selections, and there are 5 of them for this weekend out in front, you can check out how to sign up. And that is on the link just below this screen at Patreon, and it's definitely well worth a look. And we've been in really good form there and showing a very nice profit at Royal Ascot and indeed for the month of June. Now, thunderstorms permitting, I'm going to rattle through these selections because there's all sorts of lightning strikes flying around outside, so I could disappear like something out of Benjamin Button. So let's crack on, and I'm going to take you first to Saturday, where my selection for you is at Newcastle in the 130, which is the 2-mile Northumberland Vars handicap. That's on the artificial surface, the all-weather, which is standard to slow, and 14 run at Newcastle in a race that is the consolation race for the Northumberland Plate that follows half an hour later. And I've got a nice juicy selection for that one, I can tell you, Out in Front. But I've got a juicy one here as well. A very interesting staying handicap, the 130. Ian Williams trains Blow Your Horn, who was around 7-2 favourite last time I looked, and is going for a 4-timer under a £7 penalty following its win at Pontefract on Sunday. Now, has it recovered from that? That recent hat-trick has come on turf. Will it be as effective on the all-weather? Not all horses are. It has run well on the all-weather in the past, and won indeed, but that was at a lower level, so I think it is potentially one to take on. Now, there's been money around for the Sean Woods-trained Appia, whose last 2 all-weather runs have seen him win nicely, but that was over just 1.5 miles, and he's stepping up in trip here, and is off a £5 higher mark too, so he's got a few questions to answer. Ed Dunlop Citizen Generals chased home Appia last time, but is better off at the weights. And he too takes that step up in trip. He has won though at 1.5 miles, so he's probably going to stay, although you wouldn't be sure. He is definitely not without a chance, and he's also running in first-time cheek pieces that might help his cause. And then we've got the Irish trainer Matthew Smith saddling a couple in this race just to make things even tougher for us than otherwise they would normally be with an Irish raider. He's running a horse called La Hacienda, who was third in a listed race last time out, and is ridden by the very talented Harry Davis, who he's booked and claims £3, while Matthew Smith's other runner is Kozone, who is as big as 20 to 1. He's won at this trip on the all-weather, and he's got the talented Irish apprentice Jake Cohen, claiming £5. So my suggestion is to keep an eye on the market for those 2 Irish raiders. And Charlie Johnston has also got a couple of runners here. He's got World Without Love for Joe Fanning, who's making a massive bid for the Jockeys Championship at the age of 52. That would be the biggest story of the year if he were to hold on. He's on the bigger priced of the two, actually. And the stable's Hadrianus, with Oisin Murphy up no less, will bid to bounce back from a lacklustre run at Royal Ascot, although it was in the Queen's Vase Group 2, so he's taking a big drop in class. But given all the above, my selection is going to be a horse that is trained by Heather Main. And this horse is called Mostly Sunny. Heather Main trains this one, and Jason Hart is going to be on board. Now, Heather Main, a former opera singer, has really been hitting the high notes this season. She sent out that 150 to 1 winner, you'll remember, at Newbury not so very long ago. And her horses are running really well at the moment with a 33% strike rate. And she won the Carlisle Bell during the week. So her horse is going really well. And I think confidence must be fairly high for her Mostly Sunny to go very well. He won really nicely over course and distance in November off a mark of 77. And then has failed to shine in his first two starts on turf this season. But the rider with those is that they were both on testing ground. He ran a lot better last time out when he encountered good to firm ground on turf, finishing second in a 2-mile Goodwood handicap, and I think that should have put him spot on for his return to this surface. Now he's now off just £1 higher than his last winning mark here at Newcastle, and he's got Jason Hart on board, who's terrific value. And at the current odds of 15 to 2 each way for 4 places at the time of this recording, I think he's got a pretty big shot. So I'm going to be with Heather Main to have another big winner this season. Mostly Sunny is the horse I'm going to be with on Saturday in the Northumberland Vase. And then I take you on to Sunday, and I'm taking you to the Curragh in Ireland for the 450 race, which is a 7 furlong fillies handicap. They're forecasting good ground, and there are 11 runners. It's a decent 7 furlong handicap, quite a few last time out winners, so some informed fillies taking each other on. And among them is Gavin Cromwell's Transcendental, who needed every yard of the 6 furlongs to just catch Ivor Bat here 5 weeks ago. And she's gone up £4 for that, but I think should really remain competitive, and the trip will suit better. Independent Expert is trained by Andrew Slattery, and that one needed every yard of the mile to win at Limerick last time out, but is effective at this trip, but probably more concerned than the drop back in trip is the £7 winner's penalty there. While Owen O'Neill's No No Nicky has a £7 rise too, and is dropping back 2 furlongs after its most recent win. And I think that just might edge her out of the picture. Possibly the biggest danger amongst those who've scored on the latest start is the Jessica Harrington trained Lanchinti, who had gone close on a couple of occasions prior to getting off the mark in a Limerick mile maiden last time out. I think this stiff 7 furlongs could suit her really well, so it would be no surprise to see her go close. Now, Joseph O'Brien runs 2 in the race, which does rather complicate matters. And both ran last week at Royal Ascot. Both ran in the 1 mile Kensington Palace Fillies handicap, finishing 4th and 5th respectively. Now, the 4th home was Adelaide's, who previously finished 3rd in a big field here over a mile in a hot handicap, and who really didn't get a clear run and stayed on well to be beaten just a length at the Royal Meeting last week. She finished a short head in front of her stable companion, Your One There. And it's Your One There who is very marginally preferred of the two. She's by Joseph O'Brien and is the mount of Dylan Brown McMonagle, and she's meeting Adelaide's on the same terms. And arguably, if you watch the replay, she was even more unlucky in the run, coming with her effort when she was the meat in a sandwich, buffeted about as one horse went in from the left and one went in from the right, and she really was held up there. She wasn't knocked about after that, but without too much encouragement, she still put her head down and ran on, just hands and heels, really. And she was only beaten a short head for 4th and only just over a length off of the winner. I think she would have won at Royal Ascot last week had she got a clear run. Now, for both of the O'Brien fillies, Joseph O'Brien fillies, this represents a drop down in class, so they should be very competitive. Now, there are no odds available at the time of this recording, so my suggestion to you is this, because it is a very hard race to assess, I think, certainly for me. If she's 5 to 1 or better, then we'll be betting her each way, Your One There. But if she is 9-2 or less, then it'll be win only. So that's my advice. You're one there, 5-1 or better, we're on each way. 9-2 or shorter, it'll be win only. She's my second selection for you at over the weekend, and she goes at the Curragh in the 450. So those are the two for you, offered free here as always at Sportsbet. Let's hope they give us a run for our money. If you're interested in the other 5 selections across the 2 days this weekend, then please check me out at Patreon on the link below at Out in Front. But for now, from me, Paul Alster, I'll say good afternoon and wish you the very best of luck this weekend. Bye bye.